Alright guys, on this episode of Oli Oli Paints, we're going to take this Black Widow and do that. That's Chrysler PRV 3-stage red. So let's go ahead and get into the video. Alright guys, like I said, this whole job I sprayed with this Harbor Freight Black Widow. This is the brand new one, the rear fan control. And I'm gonna say that this is probably the best apprentice spray gun, period. If you're in the United States or you have a Harbor Freight local, go grab one of these. You won't regret it, and this video will show you why. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright guys, here is the job for today. This is a Dodge Ram paint code PRV. If you spray Sherwin-Williams, look up NRV. I don't know why they do that, but PRV in our system is not even close to this. I have no idea why. The variant that I'm going to use is standard. It's the 3-coat, meaning that it's a 3-stage red, so it's got a candy layer. I believe it's just one layer of candy, so when we get to that point, we're going to spray it 1 coat wet and then immediately control coat it just to even things out. But I figured this would be a good one to show you guys the new Harbor Freight Black Widow and what it's capable of. So let's go ahead and spray a 3-stage red with it. All right, like I said, this is the gun that we're gonna get this job done with. Figured this would be the perfect job to showcase the abilities of this new Black Widow. You can see mine is an HTE 1.3. This is the rear fan control, unlike the other one that has the fan adjustment on the side. And I've been using this spray gun for about 2 weeks now. I didn't want to just rush to get a video out there. I wanted something, like I wanted to know if this gun was capable. I really wanted to put it through its paces. So this would be the perfect color. This is Chrysler NRV or PRV. It's a 3-stage red. And we'll just go ahead and use this thing, sealer, base, candy, and clear. And I'll show you guys how it performs, because for $100, I believe these are $179 regularly. If you guys pay attention to the sales, they do those super coupons where things are like 20%, and if you're inside Track Club, they might be 25% off. I paid 130 bucks for this thing. 130 bucks, and this is honestly, the quality of it is amazing. Like, it's fantastic how budget friendly the spray gun is. And when you take off the nozzle, so it's cool because this little air distribution ring that they put inside here, it says ensure this side faces outward, so you can't mess it up. It doesn't have locator pins, so you just set it in there, then put the nozzle, then put your air cap. But the design of this gun, I mean, I think Harbor Freight's got a banger here. I like this personally better than the side fan control one. It fits my hand better, it's a little bit more comfortable. Trigger feels a little bit better. And yeah, without further ado, let me go ahead and get this cleaned up. I'll get some sealer mixed up, get my stuff on, and we'll go ahead and get this job started. All right, guys, we are going to get after it. As always, we're gonna blow and tack all this stuff off and then use the static gun, and you know the drill. Oh gosh. Get all the static removed off all this stuff. All right. Alright guys, so here we go. This is going to be sealer. Let's do a little fan pattern check here on the plastic just to see what we're working with. See what kind of pressure we need. try that. That looks pretty dang good. That's 27 PSI, full fan, full fluid. Very even top to bottom. Yeah, we're gonna rock with that. So 27 PSI, full fan, full fluid. This is P30 sealer with US4 reducer. You can see this thing's spraying super even. It's not the fastest gun in the world, I will say that, but it's very, very controllable. Okay. Inside this little jam here. Alright, that's coat of sealer on that. Let's go ahead and do the bumper. And I'm not going to worry about trying to blend this over here because color doesn't blend super well. Its handle paint's nice, but blending is kind of a pain in the butt. Alright, so that is sealer done with this Black Widow. And I mean, that spray sealer is good as anything. I don't have any complaints. It's not really hard to spray sealer, so that part's not super impressive. We'll see how it lays the base coat down. I already know it works fantastic, but I'll show you guys. With this color, I am going to spray wet on wet. I've been doing that a lot lately. Basically, I've turned the booth pressure up, or not booth pressure, booth temperature up to about 80 degrees, and that's really been working well, so I can actually wet on wet and not worry about it. So we're gonna go ahead and let this stuff flash for about 10 minutes, and then we'll get some color chucked in this gun and we'll see how that goes. All right, guys, so we've got our base coat color in here. I'm gonna probably spray this at a lot lower pressure. I'm gonna go over here and check my fan. I'm thinking like 22, 23. Let's see what 22 and a half looks like. Yeah, that'll do it. Nice and wet. Because base coat I want to lay pretty wet. Basically the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to get this front edge and then I'll do top down, and then I'll immediately come back and do my second coat. My second coat, I'm going to back up a little bit. It's kind of going to be just an orientation coat, all right? So without further ado, let's go ahead and do it. Again, this is with that Black Widow. Sealer, base, and clear. We'll just go through this whole job. All right, here we go. like I said, wet on wet. So we're gonna go right back. Do our second coat. I am backed up a little ways off the panel, trying to smooth all these metallics out. Or all these pearls, excuse me. Alright, so that's our wet on wet coat to base coat. I'm going to use that blower stand over there, and I'll get this dry. I'm going to go ahead and do my 2 wet on wet coats of base on that off camera. We'll see what this looks like when it's dry. We'll color check it. Alright guys, so I did fix the little nibs that I found. I had a few right here that I needed to sand out. I just used this little Kovacs block with 2000 grit. So now I just need to dust some base coat over those. Tack it off again real quick. Make sure nothing's on the surface. But all I'm going to do is just get some base on them, like so. It is 2000 grit, so it's going to cover it. And then you can just blow some air over it. Like so. Okay, that one looks pretty good. And I'm just dusting base over it. Alright, so now we're ready for a control coat. I am going to drop my pressure down. I'm going to do this by ear. Just a little bit. I like that. It's probably about 18 to 19 psi. So I'll do my control coat over this entire bedside and the bumper, and that's ready for our candy layer after that. Just take your time, go nice and slow. You want this to be as even as possible. Watch it lay down nice and silky. Okay. Hopefully I don't run out of base coat here. I'm going to just do the visible faces so I don't run out. Not as important on this bumper, but just at least want to get one control coat down. There we go. Pretty silky now that I have enough to the inside. Okay, so let's take a look. It's what you want. It looks nice and silky. Let's go mix up our candy layer. I'll clean out the gun. On that coat, I'm going to do one nice wet coat and then control coat it immediately while it's still wet. So I'm going to turn these fans off so the heat goes down a little bit. Oh, this stuff is nice and flashed off already. But yeah, so let's get this last step of base coat and then we'll be ready for clearing. And here's something that guys always ask about, and I always forget to film it, but it's how to clean water base out of your gun. You have a couple of options. In this case, this little setup, this is a water cleaning station, but I also have, this is just a waterborne cleaner, but you can pop it in there and use it like that if you want to. On this particular station, I have water right here. Matter of fact, I need to go turn it on. Just go back to the bottle. It's really simple to clean water base out. You could just put straight up tap water in this. You don't need waterborne cleaner. I just happen to have it in this pump sprayer, so go ahead. This is the only goofy thing that I noticed about this Black Widow is the wrench. The 22, which I'm pretty sure is the same as the DV1. So if you have a DV1 already, you've got a wrench that fits it. But nozzle just pretty much looks like a typical friggin' nozzle. Really, honestly, this gun reminds me so much of Techno Pro Light, even in the way it sprays. See, that's the inside of the gun, where that little air distribution ring sits. So you just rinse it out, okay? This is that little distribution ring I was talking about. It simply just sets in like that. Put the nozzle in. You've got the needle still in here, just pull the trigger when you go to put the nozzle in. Okay, and then same with tightening it, pull the trigger. There we go. And then from here, it's like you could grab your lacquer thinner, rinse the gun down, scrub it out if you want to, and then use, obviously, some air to dry it. What I'm gonna do, because I have it, put it in the gun wash machine, and just let it go through a cycle. Like that. My only real complaint is they haven't done away with this stupid swivel. I've never enjoyed swivels on guns, ever. Well, maybe that's a personal preference thing. It's not terrible with this regulator setup, but... Okay, so let's go ahead. And again, I'm gonna just set it at 22.5 PSI, just like I did for my coverage coat. Just like that. And let's go ahead and get the candy layer on. Let's get it. Like I said, guys, wet on wet. I'm gonna do one wet coverage coat and then just a dry orientation or drop coat immediately after while it's still wet. And that's just to smooth things out. Alright, like I said, I'm going to control coat it. It's already starting to flash, but while this is still wet, we'll just do a nice, even control coat. There we go, that's base coat, or base coat. That's my candy coat on that all finished. I'm gonna just do this bumper the exact same way. And for the bumper, I'm not gonna worry about bumping up my pressure at all. Just do my one coverage coat. It's not really going to affect my color all that much. If at all, I highly doubt it will actually. Back here and just control coat it. coat done. But it's that easy, guys. This gun, a lot of people will say, oh, I only buy quality tools, or I only spray Sada, I only spray this or that. You know what? I have Sada, I have Segola, I have DeVilbiss, I have all of them. And this sprays side by side just as good as any of those. The biggest difference is going to be longevity. I'm not sure, obviously, because I've only sprayed this for about 2 weeks, how long this spray gun will last. I know for a fact that I can depend on a Segola to last me years and years, because I have one that's lasted me about 7 years now. It's my original 4600, and it's fantastic. My original Black Widow, Freddie still has and still uses, and I bought that 3 or 4 years ago. So the life expectancy of this thing, if you take care of it, if you clean it, don't just leave crap in the nozzle, this should last you a really long time, okay? I'm not saying that it won't. I just know for a fact that my premium spray guns are built to a little bit higher standard. So like the knobs, the adjustment controls on them are of nicer material. These ones are a little thin, a little plasticky and things like that. But yeah, anyway, like the control knobs on this are a little bit cheaper compared to the higher end guns. But does that affect how it sprays? I don't think so, not really. If you guys are in your home garages, would I recommend this? Not necessarily, simply because this still uses the same amount of air that my high-end guns need. So here at the shop, we have a big screw type compressor that just puts out like endless amounts of air. So I don't have to worry about losing air or pressure with this gun in that case. There are other options, and I will make a video on another option for you DIY guys, like the best setup I think I have found for you guys. In another video I'll make that. But for guys that are just starting out, apprentices, dudes that have 60-gallon or 80-gallon compressors at home and you're trying to spray your project in the garage, dude, you'll get the same results out of this that we're getting here at the shop for much less. And as long as you take care of it, this thing, I mean, you could do paint job after paint job and it'll pay for itself in no time. So I'm gonna go ahead, again, go clean this out, chuck some clear coat in it. We'll see how it sprays clear, but you guys have seen from sealer to that base layer to this candy layer, it has sprayed all of this, no problems, no fuss. I didn't have to do anything special. Full fan, full fluid. I sprayed that sealer at 27. I sprayed all the base at 22. Control coats at about 19. So yeah, if you're spraying water base, try those settings. If you're spraying solvent, you might even need a little bit less. The biggest thing is check your pattern, okay? So if you're spraying solvent, check it. You'll set it, say 22 psi. Spray it on here. If it's nice and even top to bottom like this, go with it. If it is breaking up a little bit, maybe it's dry on the ends and not so much, or wet on the middle and dry on the ends, whatever, drop it down a little bit. You're over atomizing. So turn it down until you have a super nice pattern like that. For clear coat, since I've used this plenty of times, I'm going to spray it at about 26 psi for the CC250 that I'll use. But again, we'll check the fan pattern. We'll see what it looks like. But yeah, let me go mix up clear, guys, and we'll get to this last step and we'll see how it does. All right, guys, here's the moment of truth. This is all dry and ready to rock and roll. Like I said, about 26. You see the fan pattern. Pretty even top to bottom, so we're gonna rock with that. One of those things I always hear from people is it's not the gun, it's the guy behind it. Now, while that may be true, here's the thing. I would rather go to war with grenades versus firecrackers. The nicer the spray gun that you have, the easier to get the results that you're looking for becomes, okay? That's why a lot of us professionals use spray guns that are higher end. It just happens to be that in the last few years, these lower end guns are starting to catch up, all right? They're using HTE, which is high transfer efficiency technology in these air caps, and they're getting the job done, and they're actually building a quality spray gun. So let's see how this thing sprays clear. back over here so I'm not hitting it. All right, let's go, first coat. Alright guys, that's the first coat. You can see this thing is not a speed demon, because at 26 psi, if I sprayed that with my Segola at that low, I would be really moving, because it just gets the material on quick. But we'll let this tack up for say 5 minutes, and then we'll slow it down just a little bit more and really go for that glassy finish on this bedside. Alright guys, second coat time. Like I mentioned, I'm going to go a little bit slower. This bumper cover looks a little bit slicker than that bedside. It's kind of a big panel, so it's not surprising. Go ahead and double check our pressure real quick. I might even drop it down just a little bit more. It's sort of like 25. See what that does for us. And again, I'm just going to slow down a wee bit, go for a little bit slicker finish. Okay, here we go. That's it guys, I just slowed my arm speed down. I'm just going for that slick finish at this point. And I did mix an extra 3 ounces just in hopes that I won't run out, you know. It gets kind of tricky in here. Alright guys, and like I said, I slowed down for the second coat. This is an absolute glass, but it's going to match the truck. At 25 psi, that was like perfect. I do have a little few nibs here and there that I'm going to have to denib and polish after. Not worried about that in the slightest. I'm very happy with how this went. This spray gun, guys, if you're an apprentice, just go out and get one of these 1.3 HTE. Get one for your sealer base and clear. You could get the side fan control and a 1.7. There's your primer. You literally could rock these two guns for years. Get your experience under you and then upgrade down the road, or keep rocking the Black Widows. It doesn't matter. They'll get you the professional results that you're actually looking for, and you can depend on them. I know that as long as you keep these clean, they will last you a good long while. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please hit that subscribe button. I've got links. I have a link tree that has some of the tools and stuff that you guys see me use between here and social media. If you guys want to check that out, It's linked down in the description. I also have an Amazon storefront with various tools and stuff that I recommend if you guys want to look at those. There's also some budget-friendly options, spray guns, some DIY options in that link tree, so definitely check that out. And yeah, until next time, guys, thank you for being here with me. Thank you for hanging out. I hope this shows you that this gun is a viable option, and I definitely recommend it, and I enjoy using it. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching.